Welcome back to our special in Black History Month. Many Milwaukee organizations are doing a lot of good for our communities.
Yeah, let's talk about a couple of them. Angela Lang with Black Leaders Organizing for Communities and Dr. Eve Hall with the Milwaukee Urban League. They both join us now to talk about their organizations. Thank you both very much for being here to talk about the positive impact you're having. And Dr. Eve Hall, I mean, nobody runs deeper in this community than the Milwaukee Urban League with more than a century in this city. Talk about that connection to Milwaukee's Black history.
Yes, thank you, Charles. And we've been around since 1919. And what's so amazing about our organization is that we were at the crux in terms of helping to stabilize and mobilize African American families and individuals as they moved from the South to the North. And we were the conveners, we were the liaisons to make sure that families were able to secure employment. In fact, as I think about what's happening with COVID today, we actually started a medical clinic and a drugstore for the mere reason of providing access to quality health care. And we were involved in all of the different cases around housing, education, in terms of desegregation, ending discrimination, and just pushing for equity and equality. So we've been very much a part of every piece of this city, the very fabric.
A rich history, no doubt. And Angela Lang, how does Black Leaders Organizing for Communities, or what's known as BLOC, actually work to preserve the history, but also work to improve the future for our neighborhoods?
Absolutely. I think for us, we want to make sure that people participate in a civically engaged way and that we understand that civic engagement doesn't stop at the ballot box. We want to make sure we're seeing our vote through. We're being civically engaged in a way where we're testifying at the city budget hearings, we're protesting. There's so many different ways to be civically engaged. And what's also important that we took our time with in 2020 is that we wanted to make sure that we understood our own history. We understood the deep connection that we all had to our work. And so having research assignments like looking into the housing marches, looking into the Voting Rights Act, being able to understand and to learn from the legacy of the late John Lewis. All of that was so important in framing and understanding our history and how that's playing out in this moment so we can be prepared and have the skills and the tool sets to make sure that we have a thriving, healthy, and full future for our communities.
Dr. Hall, you know, Black History Month is 28 days, but you look at the trailblazers alone in the city of Milwaukee, it would take you a year or more to get through them. So how do we sort of promote this, the Black history culture and the history beyond just these 28 days?
It's up to our organizations. I think as a community, it is our responsibility to continue to share stories, not just this month, but every month. Every week. It should be a part of meetings. It should be a part of gatherings because for too long, we've been undervalued and really oftentimes unappreciated for the many contributions simply because we have not always been a part of the telling of history. And so being intentional through this community, again, through our organizations, whether it's the Urban League, whether it's the leadership that Angela runs, our school districts, but just all of us being very conscious about constantly telling the story.
And you do it, and we appreciate you sharing some of that time with us today. So Angela Lang and Dr. Hall, thank you very much for being here. Now,
thank you.
Throughout the month of February, we want to know what Black History Month means to you. So record a video with your name, where you're from, and your message, and we may show that on TV. You can email your videos to news@tmj4.com. We'll be right back.